So Tyler, the Creator, has dropped a new album, Chromakopia. It comes after his 2021 album, Call Me If You Get Lost. And that album was really, really good. And I said this back when he performed at Coachella. Like, for the past 8 years, he's probably the best rapper in hip hop. Musically, stylistically, he's been the best. And it's interesting because during that time span, that's 2016 is when Cardi and Megan popped up. And for the most part, it's been all female rappers, Sexyy Red, GloRilla, just a bunch of female rappers, causing the buzz, having hits. But as far as artistry and musicality and originality, male or female, Tyler has been the best hip hopper, best rapper, period. And I'm going to come. And this album, it's guaranteed that this album will be nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys. Will he win it? He got a shot. He got a real shot of winning because this album, he's always had a strong Neptune's influence on him. Like, he's very influenced by Chad and Pharrell. But this album's different. That Neptune's influence is still in there, but it's expanded out. Like, he's actually grown musically, which is crazy because each and every album, Igor, like all these different albums, like he keeps growing and growing as an artist. And back when Our Future first came out, you didn't see this coming. Our Future, to me, when they first came out, was like Wu-Tang Clan meets, there was like a collection of artists. So it was like Wu-Tang Clan meets rap horrorcore, which was like Grave Diggers RZA's Grave Diggers back in the mid 90s, right? So they had that horror element to it, but it was like they were a collective because Frank Ocean was part of that crew. So it was a collective. But what we're getting today from Tyler, I don't think, even if you're the staunchest Odd Future fan back then, or even an early Tyler fan, I don't think you saw this consistent musicality coming from him. So I'm going to I'm going to talk about some of the songs that I like off this album. First off, it's Noid. Noid is already like 10 million views. It sounds like to me that Gary Clark Jr. is on this album. I've been searching to see if he's on it. But when I listen to Noid, okay, so Noid is basically, if you took NERD, mixed in African chorus with an analog 70s rock guitar, that's Noid. And at first it's like, wow, this sounds very familiar. And I started thinking the vocal on this sounds like Gary Clark Jr., but I couldn't see if his name was a feature on that because Tyler has a bunch of features on here, but I feel like it's Gary Clark Jr. But Noid, if you are like myself, and you like a rock guitar, if you miss a rock guitar in R&B and hip hop, check out Noid. It is fantastic. A standout track for me is also Judge Judy. Judge Judy. So there's the Judge Judy chorus. It sounded very familiar to me, and I feel like Tyler has been listening to 90s music before this album came out because there's a slight 90s influence on here. Judge Judy was a chorus in Judge Judy. I said, I know this. I started listening to it. It's like, okay, one of my favorite Celine Dion song is Calling You, which is a remake of the Jeff Buckley song. Cause she's like, I'm calling you. Of course she sings it better than me. And Jeff Buckley is fantastic. That Judge Judy chorus sounds like Calling You, but it's very hypnotic. So check that track out. Now, if you are a Gen Xer and you kind of miss 90s R&B or 90s hip hop, there's two tracks that reminds me of that time period, like the post New Jack Swing era. So this is where we have Jodeci and Intro and all those acts, or even like the Living Single theme, that post, that like 91, 92, 93 sound. There's Darling I. Darling I has that feel to it because if you listen to the keys, it has a very early 90s R&B keys to it. And Take Your Mask Off. Take Your Mask Off has almost like a 70s Roy Ayers type vibe to it. But both of these songs felt like Tyler was listening to hip hop and R&B of the early 90s and kind of took some of that and put them on these tracks. Tomorrow sounds like if there was like an ending song off a Pharrell solo album or an NERD album, it's Tomorrow. Like that's, it just feels like a Pharrell track. It just feels like this sweeping nerd track. As a very spacious track. It flows like a Pharrell track. It really does. Balloon uses Uncle Luke's Stop That, Don't Stop That, Don't Stop, get it. Well, he just used the Don't Stop part. My favorite use of that song is still Pop That French Montana's pop that had Wayne, Lil Wayne, and Rick Ross and Drake back in like 2012. That's still my favorite use of Don't Stop. But Balloon, um, that Uncle Luke sample, Don't Stop, it's just, when you hear it, it just makes the song better. Saint Chroma. If there's any song off this album that's going to get the crowd hype, it's Saint Chroma. Once that beat kicks in, you immediately see people jumping up and down. I almost wished that he had Saint Chroma out when he was at Coachella, because the people would have gone crazy. Because I can hear him say, "Let's go!" It's that type of track. And I can also see, if they go this direction, I can also see Saint Chroma being used in dance remixes. Saint Chroma is begging to be a dance remix that can be played in clubs across the country and in Europe. Like it has that type of feel to it. Now, Sticky is not a track that I love, but I'm an old head. Sticky is great for this era. Sticky has GloRilla on it, and I think Sexyy Red and Lil Wayne. This track is not for me. This track is like a Trojan horse to get played on R&B radio. The curious thing about hip hop and R&B radio is a lot of them don't play Tyler, the Creator. They'll play everybody else, but they won't play him. And this song is almost like a Trojan horse to get onto these mix shows. For all these stations that won't play Tyler, because they'll play Sexyy Red, they'll play GloRilla, and some of them still play Lil Wayne. So Sticky is a perfect track to get onto these stations, because they might skip. They won't play Noid. There's a bunch of songs they probably won't play from Chromakopia, but they definitely will play Sticky. So it's not my personal favorite track, but from a business standpoint, from a Trojan horse standpoint, Tyler made a great move on that. Let's see. Now, if you're a traditional Tyler fan, Ra Ta Ta. If you love Our Future, if you love the old school Tyler, Ra Ta Ta, is the track for you. If you're like, man, I want a Tyler track, this track is for you. And I also think from a marketing standpoint, he's wearing this mask. So he's always a creative guy. He's wearing this mask in these videos, this black mask, because it's like his face. It's like his face, but he's wearing a mask. So I think when he's on tour, he's going to sell a ton of those masks. In fact, I'll probably want one of those masks. Yeah, I'm a fan of Tyler's, but I'm not in that demographic. But man, that mask is very cool and scary at the same time. Now, I'm talking about Chromakopia from a musical standpoint. This album, I am not a hardcore Tyler, the Creator fan. So check out reviews by millennials and Gen Zers who can go deeper into the lyrics. I'm not going deep into the lyrics. I'm just a Gen Xer from the outside, just admiring Tyler's musical creativity. Like, Tyler's doing things that Kanye was doing between like 2008 and 2012. He's doing what De La Soul used to do. He's doing what OutKast did. Like, when OutKast made Southern Playalistic, they could have stayed in that wheelhouse, but then they made AT-Aliens, and it was pushing their fans to expand their minds and doing something different. Because Andre 3000 and Big Boy and the Dungeon Family wanted to do different stuff. If it wasn't for AT-Aliens, we might not have gotten a Bombs Out of Baghdad, or a song like The Prototype, or Rosa Parks. OutKast made a conscious decision that we want to do different stuff. So we have to take a dip on this album to break out our creativity. And Tyler, the Creator, is the same student of those hip hoppers who kept on challenging himself and his fans. If you are an artist moving forward, no matter if you're in hip hop and R&B, no matter what you do, for me, it's important that you expand your knowledge of music. It's important that you push your fan base, because Megan Thee Stallion's doing nothing different than what she's done before, or Cardi. And no offense to these ladies at all, but they're not pushing their fans to broaden out their ears. Prince did that for me. Michael Jackson did that for me. OutKast did for me. Tribe Called Quest did that for me. And thank goodness we have Tyler, the Creator, doing that for his fans. And hopefully Sticky will get play on these hip hop and R&B stations. So then the fans will start, if they didn't buy Tyler, the Creator albums before, like Igor or Call Me If You Get Lost, they'll start playing them now. Shout out to Tyler, the Creator. Probably my hip hopper, rapper of 2024.